Hello everyone and welcome to Doorkickers, which is of course a reference to the Police Special Weapons and Tactics Force, or SWAT teams. So, I have played quite a bit of this. This is one of the games that I like to sometimes play on my downtime, and as you can tell, I have leveled up my entire squad. So we can have a look at that actually here. So, this is my squad. I've got a full squad. I've got currently 4 assaulters and 6 stealth guys. So basically how it works is we've got 5 character classes. We've got Point Man, who only has a pistol, and we've got the assaulter, who has access to assault rifles and, you know, actually damage dealing stuff like, well, that's a marksman rifle. Then there's a personal defense weapons. Then there's the carbines, all sorts of stuff. Basically, he's the bread and butter assault guy. Oh, that was a bit weird. The game had a bit of a hiccup. Then there's Breacher, who has access to the shotguns. Not a massively useful character class in my opinion, although some of the shotguns are very, very fun. Very limited to short range. Then there's Stealth, and Stealth guys have access to the suppressed versions of most of the weapons. For example, here we've got a suppressed Vector, suppressed shotgun, suppressed carbine. All very useful stuff to have. I mean, I keep clicking the wrong thing. And then, of course, we have the shield guy, who can only carry a pistol and his shield. Shield guys are very, very, very ponderous. However, they can take a good amount of punishment, especially if you upgrade them to use the actual level 3 shields, which actually do stop rifle caliber bullets. Other than that, basically you've got an armor slot, which takes armor. For example, we've got extended protection armor. Basically, makes you very, very, very hard to kill. Then there's the Raider Vest, which kind of, well, basically the idea is you can be shot from 4 directions: front, back, and both sides. For example, the extended protection vest protects you from all sides. The Raider only from forward and backward. But it protects really well from forward and backward. So when you maneuver your guys, you need to be aware of what way they're facing in order to know. For example, if they're only wearing the front plate, you don't know how well, or if at all, they're going to be protected from the rear. Probably they aren't, actually. However, all of this impacts the mobility, and so does all the other gear. And mobility impacts how quickly the team can move and how quickly the members of the team can move. Then you've got 2 utility pouches, and here we've got stuff like breaching charges, tasers, lockpicking machines, basic stuff. Then there's the support gear, and here we've got the spy camera with dynamic hammer, so breaching hammer. Then we've got the bolt cutter, and we've got basically the both. So this is the one that gives access to both the hammer and the bolt cutter. So basically, in most situations, unless you are in a rush, you don't need to have the hammer or the bolt cutter. The spy camera is very useful to have, and someone in your stealth team should always have the lockpicking machine from the utility pouch. Other than that, it's mostly a case of what you want to have out is flashbangs, non-lethal stuff, because you are going to be dealing in situations where there are civilians. So we've got 2 modes. We've got campaign mode and single mission mode. And for now, I'm just going to go straight into a campaign. So I've done a few of the campaigns. I've done 3. Earlier I tried this, but this is quite hard and bad for showcasing the basic things. So we're going to go into a hard day's work, which is easy and short. Short in this means it's 6, long I think means about 8 or 7. Except I think this means an optional, so it's 5 with a 1 optional. So anyway, missing person search, 2125 Milford Heights, hostage rescue, objectives, Hostages must survive or be rescued, and optional objective eliminate all terrorists. We've got 3 known tangos and 4 possible additionals, and we've got 1 hostage. So we can only have 4 people out, and for that reason what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap out 2 of the people for guys on the stealth team, because it's, in this case, it's easier for me to just maneuver the individuals instead of going to the individuals and then managing the classes, although that can also be done quite easily. So this is the deploy screen, and here you can obviously deploy your troops. Then you move into what is the planning phase. Here you give orders to the troops. So for example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to position a couple of the guys a little bit better, and I am going to open the lock on the door. After the door is picked, and one of the important things to note is you can actually plan the whole mission out in the planning mode, and you can succeed, and actually that gives extra points as well. Or you can also just go with the free movement like this. This is a little bit harder and doesn't work quite as well in some situations, so I've found that kind of a dynamic mix of the two is needed. So we've got 2 hostiles there, we've got possibles here, but no visual. So what's going to happen is Venin here is going to throw a flashbang. We move into... Right. Basically we most likely only need the 2 guys, so okay. Open the door.
Good job. We're done here.
And that's all the hostiles eliminated. Now, currently did it in quite a good time. Lost no people, all hostiles killed, so that went quite well. However, you can actually, for example here, we can now see that Venin, or Cosmin Pavel, callsign Venin, is now injured. So he actually needs to sit the next mission out, because he did take quite a lot of fire there at the end. Iron Man mode means that if someone in your team dies, which can happen, they won't be replaced until the next until the campaign is over. So that can actually be quite hectic, because you have to maneuver and you have to try and keep your guys alive. So for now, fuck it, we can probably just go in with the full loud, because at the moment it doesn't seem like we've got a lot of options, to be honest. So try to get a visual on where and how many of the enemies there are. 1 hostile with an AK-47, MAC-10 revolver, a couple of hostages in the back, so we'll move another guy over to this side, and we'll move guys here, and well, actually this person can stay there, because I can move them then around. So Sparrow takes a couple of steps back just to ensure there we go, positioning is good, and then we can pause. We throw a flashbang there, we throw a flashbang there, and we move this person at quite an acute angle to shoot from the side. So So as you could see there, when I moved my troops in and they spotted someone, one of the firing lines turned red, and that's because they would have had to shoot through a friendly. And this game actually does have friendly fire, and it can actually be quite a risky situation when you go into into combat with obstructed sightlines. So just maneuver them a little bit, get them cover. They are currently injured as well, not quite as badly as Venin, and so is Pacificator. So yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. Didn't push in quick enough, and that led to the death of a hostage. Oh, that sucks. But because now we know what the situation is, we can just move the troops in to where they need to be. Quickly just check that the situation remains the same. What the fuck happened there? No, you go... You move to there, you don't open the fucking door. So one of the problems is sometimes you do land on situations where, because of how the game interprets your actions, you do kind of make the wrong ones, even though, you know, you think that you don't. So flashes out. Okay. Keep. Okay, we can move Pass in because Tomcat is currently quite injured. Everyone else is injured except Pass, so we're going to move him in quite hard to take the hostiles down. There we go. So yeah, going into the next, we've got 2 serious injuries, 2 minor injuries. So the minor injuries, marked in orange, can still participate. Heavy injuries, marked in red, can't. But for this, we actually only need assault. Or actually, they can, but they shouldn't. So I'm going to move them around a little bit, and for now, because we are going to be going into actual factual combat, this is one of those moments when we could actually just swap out get the extended protection, because we don't currently. What isn't required is mobility, what is required is security. There we go, move those 2 round. Done. So now we've got quite a hefty let's move Fishface and him ready. We've got Venin and Sick ready on this door, so move them in. Right. Then we can move a couple of the guys over to the windows and push these guys through. And this is a good mission because you can actually see how the change in gear has made an immediate change in how my guys take damage. So for example, even though Venin and Sick did stand there in sustained fire for quite a bit, they are still standing after that. So and this is of course also a very good mission for showing how the sightlines work. So because we're going to be in quite contained areas, we need weapons with good pointability, so we're going to swap to the pistols instead. There we go.
Good job. done here.
So now we've had 2 hostage rescues, we've had 1 elimination mission. So next up, we've got an actual mission where we have an objective to complete that requires interacting with the environment. And in this situation, what that mission is we need to secure evidence. For example, we can see packages of narcotics here, we can see a laptop there, again more narcotics, and we need to secure as much as possible of the evidence before it is destroyed.
Did you hear that?
They're bashing the evidence. They're getting rid of the dope. They're getting rid of the dope. They're bashing the evidence. Covering. They're getting rid of the dope. In position. We need to stop them. X-ray down. We need to stop them. Injured. I got hit. They're bashing the evidence. We need to stop them. On your mark. We need to stop them. They're bashing the evidence. Tango down. We need to stop them. They're bashing the evidence. In position. We need to stop them. We need to stop them. Tango down.
So this is one of those missions where actual stealth would have been called for. However, that wasn't an option right now. However, I can now go in and you can see how the gear impacts and why it would be useful for me to have troops with high mobility gear instead of high protection gear, because that would allow me to move my troops in, move some of the troops in at a higher speed, while some of them would be better protected. So in this situation, since they're all wearing the high protection, they are actually quite slow.
Evidence acquired. Covering. Evidence secured.
So we're not really managing to secure a lot of evidence on this one, but that doesn't matter that much.
Evidence secured. Got the dope. Looks clear.
Okay, have we got more evidence anywhere? No, we don't, and that's the last hostile down as well. So only 3 out of only 2 out of 3, but that's because we didn't get enough of the evidence, and because not enough of probably didn't also do it quite as quickly as we should have. So for this, we can all swap to stealth, because this is a mission that calls for stealth instead of, or at least a level of stealth. So we move the guys in.
Okay. Affirmative. Roger. I'm on it. They're here. Compromise. On your mark. Tango down. No tangos. No contact. No contact.
Okay.
On target. Tango down. Okay. Tango down. Looks clear. I got hit. On target. Roger. X-ray down. On target. Trooper down.
So we've unfortunately lost a trooper,
Okay. Affirmative. On your mark.
so I'm gonna have to push in
No contact.
from this direction instead.
On target. Tango down. In position.
The reason it then gave me an actual command to fire is because that hostile wasn't aware of my presence, and with the stealth class you can actually just your troops hold fire until you give the explicit command to fire.
Covering.
Wonder who I actually lost.
Okay. On your mark. Door unlocked. I'm on it. I'm on it. Affirmative. I'm on it. Roger.
There we go. Move the guys around a little bit. And then we can just move people into the stairwell. So we'll get Tomcat through first, because he's not only the best trained at the moment, but he also has a full health bar still, which now has changed. So since we're going to be in such close combat, we can, for the couple of them, swap out pistols instead to increase their response time. So check corners quick as possible.
On it. Roger. Looks clear. Eyes on the target. Eyes on the target. Covering.
Rest the target.
Let's go. Primary target secured.
And now they are tagged onto the person who arrested them. This is also a feature with the hostage rescues. The person who rescues the hostage is the person that the hostage then holds on to, so...
Roger. Roger. On target.
There we go.
Covering. Looks clear.
And we just move into the rescue zone, and this will be over.
I'm on it.
There we go. Get the hostage into the zone as well.
Target in custody. Good job. We're done here.
So, we didn't kill all the hostiles. There was apparently one more hostile in the master bedroom. However, we did also suffer a casualty, which is a little bit saddening. So we lost Carmen Illy, with call sign Theli. So she was killed in action and replaced when starting a new campaign. And the last mission of the campaign, and the last mission that we're going to do, is in fact another hostage rescue. Swap those two guys out just to... that is a little bit, you know, makes you feel a little bit guilty, but right. Go stealth and stealth. Everyone's a stealth guy. So, first things first, we get cameras. Actually, first things first, we get cameras on the open doors, and on the closed doors we get to picking the locks, because getting the locks picked is a little bit more time sensitive, even if you do have the so two hostiles patrol this. So one guy patrols this actual room. So we can take him when he turns around. We can hide a guy in here. So, move a couple of guys there, move someone to cover the hallway, move someone to cover that door. Push in. Clear the room. Okay, MRI room looks clear. office looks clear. So there's still a possibility that there's someone there. However, I think that possibility isn't too credible. So we're going to move people into this hallway. Okay, so we've got hostiles investigating. We've got hostiles down. Oh dear. Ooh, it would have been a fucking good idea to throw a flashbang in there. So, as it shows, it actually does pay to... Oh dear, I lost my point, man. Suffered 2 casualties. That actually is quite a lot. So, the way the casualties are replaced is you just get rookies in. Everyone else gets basically everyone else gets a promotion. And the rookies get pushed back down. However, on the positive side, all that the rookie means is that they don't have the call sign and their skills are at the quite high basic level. So they have access to all the gear that's been unlocked, and you know, in that way it doesn't really matter that you have sustained casualties. So in that way it's a little bit weird. However, that has been Doorkickers, and it is truly an intriguing way to do a tactical top-down thingy. One of the things I would say is it does pay to be really, really patient, and that's not something that I can actually do in a video like this. But if you do pick up the game for yourself, and you should, it's available on Steam. I think it's about 15 euros, something like that, possibly 10. Then you should take the time to play slow and to kind of, challenge yourself. It's been a little while since I've played this, so I'm a little bit rusty, but this is a good game for challenging yourself to do better each time. Anyway, that's all the time we have for now, so please be sure to join me on the stream on Sunday, and until then, I wish you a happy weekend, or a good weekend, or a merry weekend, or something to that effect, and goodbye.